Part 3 is on forming, and the main theme, the main question is it possible for a school or for a teacher to contribute to the forming of students to become responsible citizens, preferable Christians? Of course, we as a school or as teachers are unable to give our students belief in our Heavenly Father. However, it is possible to provide them with experiences in which they can think about God and in which they learn to think about our society, in which they think about themselves and other students or other people in society. So this part on forming fits within the overall message of all three short talks, and that was make your students think. Before you can answer what forming is and why forming is so important in an educational context, it's necessary to answer the question what good education is. And a Dutch scientist, Gert Bista, is very present in the current educational literature, and he comprises three different parts of good education. The first part is quite easy. That's about qualification. It's about the cognitive development of students. It's about knowledge. It's about skills. You can say it's about higher order thinking skills and lower order thinking skills. It's about active learning environments. It's about active learning strategies and so on. That one is quite easy. Secondly, he puts emphasis on the socialization part of education. Teachers and students have a certain behavior which is typically for their society, their culture and their tradition. And in schools, students learn about their specific tradition, the culture in which they live, and the society in their own environment, but also about the society worldwide. And therefore, it's very important that students from the Netherlands and also from India work together. And in this way, they can become part of a big, huge, worldwide society and learn that their world, the world they live in, is bigger than their own environment. The last part that is very important according to Gert Bista is subjectification. That's about how you become a responsible person. This one is about forming. And in the center of socialization, subjectification and qualification, and in this center, this is where good education happens. All three parts are important, however, good education comprises all the three in just one lesson. Well, that's the theory, I guess. So when there's overlap between qualification, subjectification and socialization, then you can talk, according to Gert Bista, about good education. Well, that's the theory. In practice, this is quite difficult. What we do at the Gredanus College in the Netherlands is that we introduced an integrated curriculum in which we work on the overlap between those three domains. This is still work in progress because it's not that easy to develop educational context in which all three aspects, all three domains are present. And an important thing to mention is that the qualification component is still very important. Because many people think when you put emphasis on socialization and subjectification, they think that the qualification of students is unimportant, and that's untrue. Basic knowledge is still very important, and you have to use your lower order thinking skills and your higher order thinking skills. And you have to use an active learning environment. However, when you use higher order thinking skills and when you create an active learning environment, then it's easier to put emphasis on those two other aspects, those two other domains of education. And when you do this, you put emphasis on socialization and subjectification, then you're busy with forming of students. So let me go into detail what is socialization and what is subjectification. I will show you this in a minute on the next slide. So subjectification is about becoming a person, becoming a responsible individual in our current global society. And therefore, we ask students to reflect, that is, think about experiences that contribute to their personal development. And let me give you some examples of experiences. It's a guest lecture. It's working at a company for just a couple of weeks. It's a visit to a Dutch parliament or another excursion or an expedition. It's a discussion with other people within society about climate change or on other important issues. Becoming a responsible citizen means, in our opinion, that students have to learn to reflect on important issues. And we ask students in our school to reflect from 4 different perspectives. The first perspective is, what's your personal opinion about a typical issue that's currently important in our society? Let's say global warming. And we ask students, give your personal opinion about what global warming is and how it impacts your personal life. Secondly, we ask students to change their mind to other persons. Does global warming have an impact on other people in your direct environment? And in the next step, we ask students to reflect on the question, how does global warming impact people worldwide? So there are probably differences between India and the Netherlands, and we think that's important for our students that they learn that there are big differences. And in this way, we hope they can see that the world is bigger than their own environment. In our school, a Christian school, is also very important that we want to give also a Christian perspective on those issues. For instance, is God involved in global warming? And how is he involved? And how do we take care of our society, of God's creation? These are very important questions we want the students to reflect on. Well, of course, there are many other issues where you can use these 4 perspectives. And we think that when you use these 4 perspectives and you, as a school, contribute to students' forming, this means their subjectification, difficult word probably, so that they can become a more responsible citizen in our future world. Reflecting on a specific issue, let's say global warming, is, in our opinion, more than talking about this issue from 4 different perspectives. What we want our students to do is that they put their reflections in a digital portfolio. That can be a written reflection, but also it can be a video or something else, poster or something different. That's no problem for us. And over the years, the students find in their digital portfolio many reflections. And these reflections together give insight in the personal development of the students. And at the end of the school career, the students receive 2 things: a diploma, which gives insight in the cognitive development, qualification component of education can be seen in this part, but also they receive a digital portfolio, which shows their personal development on how they want to live in our current global society. Okay, we are at the end of a small talk. Bram Verhoef asked me to tell you something about higher order thinking skills and lower order thinking skills. He asked me to tell you something about active learning and also about forming. I hope this gives a little bit insight in how we work in our school. I wish you God's blessing and maybe we'll meet in January. See you.